We are looking at chess. My rating at the moment is 2043, and I'm just going to quickly take you through a game that I won that didn't manage to record while I was playing. So the good thing is you don't have to wait for everyone to move. Now he comes in with d4. This is the opening that I hate the most in chess. If you've watched many of my other videos, you'll know how much I hate it. By the way, there's about 500 videos to watch now. This is what I normally play, a closed game, because the whole thing about e4, it's a pushy opening. They're trying to push their way through on the white squares usually. Look, pushing here now. So again, I blockade. What is a blockade defined as in chess? A blockade is something that you can't move a pawn past. It can be a knight, it can be a piece, it can be the king. Anything can be a blockade. But a pawn is a good blockade for a pawn, don't you agree? So look, now we get this one here. See, opening up the light squares. Light bishop comes out, popping out here now. And this is me trying to take some control of the light squares because I can feel that there is danger on the light squares. I sort of imagine that he's going to move that other pawn up, the c pawn, one square. And then that would give me an area where I could zone in on his knight, maybe steal it. I mean, if he has to recapture then, and then I don't see how he can castle. Comes up to here. So what do we do about knights? Do you remember the secret? How do you stop a knight? There's one very, very easy way of stopping a knight. It's not always the correct way, but it's an easy way, and that is to move the pawn that is right in front of him one square forward. So for me, it would be the f pawn. I didn't do it this time. I just decided to develop my knight because I want to get piece parity. I want as many pieces developed as he does. We've both got a bishop developed. We've both got a knight developed. Now there he is, you see, coming ready with his bishop to sort of fianchetto it, sort of. And at this point I move the knight an extra square. Now this is a bit weird. So I'm moving my knight onto the square that the other knight would have moved onto. Might look strange, but you see, knights can cover each other's asses when they clone. I call this cloning, when knights clone. It can be quite powerful. It can also be a weakness. You have to watch it. So then now this knight steps up to here, you see. And what happens after he does his thing with the bishop? Well, first of all, I just close up my little pawn chain here. And part of the reason for that is so that my queen can hop up and give a quick check on the A file. And she might be able to steal something by moving across afterwards. We will see. Now he comes out with the other bishop. So he is looking like he wants to castle kingside now. And now I do the marvellous move that I told you about that stops his knight from advancing. It's surprising how few players seem to actually consciously know about this move. I don't understand it, but I like it that they don't. So now he comes forward with this pawn here. So he's trying to form these pawn chains. He's got a very weak f-pawn there that I could take, I suppose, with my knight, and his king would have to then recapture. But for now, we just do a little bit of a moving forward.
Kingside castling.
He decides to take the opportunity to castle there and then. I don't think it's very safe to castle behind these chains of pawns. In fact, I don't think there's any point in castling at all in this game now. Do you? Tell me if you think there is a point. I don't think there is. So now I decide that I'm just going to advance these pawns. I'm not going to castle. I'm just going to advance an attack on him. So here we are. And now, bang, the attack continues. He does take a pawn there. Bit annoying. But I don't really see where he's going to go after that. I mean, yes, he could try and fork my queen and my rook, but it's not like I'm too stupid to see that. Meantime, I've come here. I've got bigger fish to fry. And I really do mean that.
Check.
So what do we have here? We have check with the bishop. So actually it is looking a little bit stressful for me now. I could try and take that, but it's probably not a good idea. Then his queen comes down. So I moved the king, and as I say, I didn't mind. I was okay with the idea of not castling.
Check.
I'm surprised he didn't do the fork on the queen, but I suppose he's thinking that he's only ever going to take the rook anyway. But he can be taken by my bishop here. So a bit strange that he did all that. And then comes back. I honestly didn't understand this. I think both of us were playing very badly. But look what I've still got. I've still got this pawn sitting here, ready to do a check on his king. And he'd have to exchange his rook for it, really. But we've got other goodness. Double attack now on his bishop. That's not good. Bishop runs away to here. Now, again, look at the optional things I could do. I think I should have taken the pawn with my knight at this point. I should have done this, because he is on very thin ice now. But I didn't, because I couldn't really see where it went. So we did this.
Check.
Fully expected him to actually take the knight at this point, but he didn't. He did actually finally find this fork, and it's pretty devastating. It's the family fork. It is the fork, the worst fork you can be subjected to. You'll find other videos on it where it says about family fork here. This wins queens.
Check.
Bingo. Now, so, do you think I'm in a losing position or a winning position? What do you think? Honestly, what do you think? I actually don't think it's as bad as it looks. I know it sounds crazy, but I don't think it's as bad as it looks. Even if his bishop does take my knight, I've got the other knight to clone it, and the bishop. My pawns are very nastily close to his king, and I've got that open file with my rook, and another rook ready to join in the fray shortly. I don't feel nervous, but believe it or not, I did not feel nervous at this point. And he starts doing the moves. You may have seen me mention this in other videos. When the opponent does a move like this pawn move, that tells me he's run out of ideas. Or he didn't have any anyway. That's exactly what that tells me. A weird move like that. That's not part of any grand strategy. That is, I don't know what to do next, so I'll push a pawn forward. So I decide that I'm going to take with this one. Why? Because it clears out a pawn from behind his king. It exposes his king to yet another open file. These open files can be deadly. Captures here, that pawn, there. And now I make the bonanza move, the horror move, the move I've been waiting to make for a very long time. He has to take with the rook. He really does have to. And
check.
I capture with check. King comes here, takes it. Okay, so might look as if I've sort of solved things, but really, no. He's in a very, very dark place at the moment. You see, my bishop is covering an escape square for him there. That d3 escape square. You see my rook's getting ready. See how safe my king is in the middle. See how safe not castling was. And I've got hopping knights that can horrify. What's he got? Well, literally, he's got almost nothing. His bishop is blockaded. His rook is behind his queen. They're the wrong way round, so his queen can't come out because I've got rooks that will grab her. He is in error. So I come and give the obvious check. And have a look at what else that knight is aiming at in a minute. Potentially his queen with a fork, potentially, right? Can you see that? If I were to move onto the square his king is now on, I'd be aiming at his queen. So what squares can we get his king onto? That's the question, isn't it?
Check.
Well, we had this sneaky bishop could come up to here. Did you even see that? It's sneaky horrors. It's incredible how much artillery I've got organised in this game, considering I have no queen. And I would say, at this point, he is in very, very great danger.
Check.
See what I mean? I mean, this is not good. This is really not good. And
Check.
the other rook joins in the show. And as I say, now with his queen in front of his rook, that is really not good. And I have 2 bishops and 2 rooks and a knight giving the horror. Have you seen where his king must move next? There's only one square his king can move to. This one. And have you seen what happens after that? Yes, you have.
Checkmate.
You thought I was going to win the queen, didn't you? It's worse than that. It's winning the queen and giving checkmate all at the same time. It is the absolute grandest revenge for him taking my queen. It's about the grandest revenge for taking a queen that I think I have ever played. It's really beautiful, is it not? Absolutely beautiful. And mystifying, mesmerizing. Look at the bishops, look at the lines. Even I barely understood the powers of my own pieces. In this game, my pieces were so unbelievably powerful. So that's it. I don't know what we're going to call this game. We'll call it tit for tat, shall we? I don't know. But a very nice game of chess. If you enjoyed it as much as I did, don't forget to like and subscribe to the most relaxing chess channel on YouTube. Chess Voices. And we will see you all again very soon. Bye for now. Oh, no. I haven't looked at my rating. Oh, no, I told you that at the beginning. So it really is. Bye for now.